Ben Bradley, I don't know if you heard that interview with Jason Zadrozny there, but I think he's pretty adamantly accusing the Conservatives of giving money in a kind of American pork barrel sense, giving more...
Jason's always accusing somebody of something. It's an interesting challenge. We heard it before. I think what he neglected to say, and I was watching, when he talks about, Mansfield's had Towns Fund and everything else, is Ashfield last week just got given, I think, the biggest Towns Fund deal anywhere in the country, 62 million quid. And he still says he's being shortchanged. It's more money than anywhere else in the country. So there's a lot of politics at play there.
But you can't dispute the figures on the potholes fund. I mean, Ashfield is getting less than the posher areas. We read out the figures to our viewers earlier. Why is that? And Mansfield
it's a government,
as well, actually, which is your seat.
Mansfield does as well. So again, if Jason wants to say it's giving money to mates, my constituency is in the same boat. It's measured on a government kind of formula, which is about the mileage of roads as opposed to population. There are, and I accept that there are challenges with that. Obviously, some roads are busier than others, get more wear and tear than others. So it isn't perfect, but we would definitely, as a council, be subject to legal challenge if we changed it. What I have done, recognising that it was the biggest problem in the election, is day one we've started a kind of root and branch review of everything we do on highways maintenance to look at our techniques, our processes, because we recognise residents don't think it's good enough, and we're going to look at what is the best way to change it and to deliver a better outcome.
Ben Bradley, it is pretty astonishing that you are a Conservative MP for Mansfield, but that's the way politics is going. How do you think levelling up is going? Because to some of us it sounds a lot more like a slogan than a thought-through set of policies. Yes, it's early days. Yes, the government's had a lot on its mind with Brexit and then dealing with the coronavirus. But you need to deliver on this levelling up agenda quite quickly, don't you, if you're going to retain, frankly, seats like yours?
We do, and it needs to be meaningful and tangible. I mean, Gloria knows the challenges of our neck of the woods as well as anybody. And they are very real. We need investment, we need support. I think there's been this will and this drive to invest in places like that, and you see it through the Towns Fund and bits of kind of ad hoc investment. The big thing I think coming up is the Levelling Up White Paper in the autumn, which basically is looking at how do you tie this into a more coherent strategy, and it's lots of things, right? It's capital investment, but it's also education and skills. It's got to be a huge part of that. And one of the things I'm trying to do with my two hats, if you like, and joining this together in quite a unique opportunity to do that, is our wider regional investment. We've got our Freeport going on, our Development Corporation, HS2 hub, Toten, and this big economic package that can create lots of jobs. I think that's a great levelling up kind of plan for the wider region. So an ongoing discussion. You're right, it needs to be coherent, and residents need to see outcomes at the end of the day, and I think fairly quickly, because we've certainly talked about it a lot, haven't we?
Ben, how can you do those two jobs at the same time? Be leader of Nottinghamshire County Council, people would say that's a full-time job, and being a member of Parliament, people would say that's a full-time job. How on earth can you do both?
We're working it out. It's busy, but I think naturally, I think when we've got an 82 majority down in Parliament, not everybody can be a minister, not everybody can do everything, and you go and look for as an MP. I mean, you'll know, Gloria, sometimes you feel like you're saying a lot and not getting anywhere, and I've always been keen to have some levers, right? I want to see things get done, and a lot of that happens at local government level. There's a lot of things that cross over. So you're talking about potholes, even as an MP, one of the biggest things people complain to me about is potholes, and now I've got the power to do something about it, and that's the biggest deal for me. I didn't get into politics to whinge about stuff. I want to get stuff done, and we've got a chance to do that. Some of the other elements cross over, as I said, this bigger regional economic stuff. I can now both help to plan it on a local level and take it down to Westminster and try and get it into legislation, into government's mind too, and hopefully we can deliver more.
And just briefly, Ben, I'm sorry, I can't help myself, I can't resist. What do you make of the results in the late Cheryl Gillen's old seat, Chesham and Amersham?
Yeah, well, it's a shame, and I'm the biggest. Cheryl was an absolutely lovely lady, and
yeah.
Horrific news to hear earlier in the year. But a really odd result, as you can imagine. It seems like there's been some Tactical kind of voting there. I can't imagine that Labour's vote would naturally be that low. It's an odd one, but by-elections are a weird beast, and we see it all over the place. Huge list of candidates and all sorts of a very strange time we find ourselves living in as well, isn't it? So governments tend not to do very well in these by-elections midterm. I don't read a great deal into it. We've got another one in a few weeks, haven't we, that we can judge as well.